Welcome to rSlash Offmychest, where OP breaks up with his girlfriend while she's in a coma. Our next Reddit post is from I Am a Yam Sam. For some context, my husband and I work at the same company, though we're in slightly different departments. We have the same shift and normally get to take lunch together and interact frequently throughout the day. We always maintain work-appropriate behavior with each other while on the clock, though if it's slow, we'll occasionally have more friendly interactions. My coworker, Mel, started working with us almost a year ago. She's very sweet, but she seemed very shy and sensitive. My department originally worried that she wouldn't work out because it was incredibly difficult to give her corrections. Even saying something like, "Oh, you wouldn't know this, but this client will always request this incorrectly, and what they really need is this instead." And she would have to excuse herself to the bathroom because she'd start to cry. I now know this should have been a red flag, but the only relationship abuse I'd seen personally had been physical, and while that could have been happening too, I never met her boyfriend and never saw any bruises. About 2 months ago, she told us she had moved, and though I didn't pry, I could hear in her conversation that she wasn't including her boyfriend in the process. I stayed quiet, and I thought I had my suspicions, and I watched her come out of her shell. She was smiling more, she became less sensitive, and seemed overall so much happier. I didn't ask or question it, but simply enjoyed working with her in a better overall mood. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a lull at work, and she started opening up to me. Mel confirmed that she had left her boyfriend and that it had been a long time coming. But it was because of my husband and I that she finally decided her relationship wasn't healthy and she deserved better. Mel told me that she watched how we behaved with each other and initially just thought that we were a unique couple with a strange personality. But we never yelled, even when we disagreed, and we worked together to find solutions. And it wasn't just exclusively us. Our other coworkers had similar reactions to us when mistakes came up or disagreements happened. No one screamed or called each other stupid. We searched for solutions and expressed concerns, and no one cried. She told me she had also been afraid to see us drink alcohol because she was afraid that we would turn into lunatics. She was talking about department outings for her birthday. We all had one drink. Obviously, no one turned belligerent, and that seemed to make her very unsettled. Again, no one asked because it's none of our business, and we just assumed that she had a bad history with alcohol, which was true. She told me that on multiple occasions, she had to search for her partner at 3 a.m. because he was sloshed somewhere and would berate her on the phone and also on the car ride back to their home. And for so long, she worked from home. She didn't know what normal human reactions were supposed to look like. She was also very grateful to be able to watch my husband and I interact, how we never talked poorly of each other and only shared our healthy expression of love. It helped her recognize she deserved better. I was very flattered and humbled to hear that my indirect actions helped her search for something better for herself. I wasn't even aware that my husband and I even had that level of effect on my coworkers. Normally, when I read a story about how OP caused another couple to break up, it's because they ended up sleeping together and someone got caught, so it's nice to have an actually wholesome story every once in a while. Our next Reddit post is from The Negotiation. My teenager and husband are so selfish that I've decided to just die. I've been suffering with long-term chronic illness for the last several years. I've lived in constant pain for 4 years. I'm currently recovering from my 4th surgery. Through it all, I've been completely on my own, continuing to work and care for my family, giving them everything I have to give and then some, while also trying to manage everything that comes along with long-term illnesses without help or support. My husband is too busy with his task list to support me. He frequently downplays my communicated needs as frivolous and unnecessary, choosing to replace them with whatever he decides I should need instead. Usually something more practical or easier for him. He took time off work to help me after surgery. However, he ended up spending it chipping it away at his to-do list instead of caring for me. I frequently experience post-op complications due to my lack of support system, such as injury or ripped stitches, from trying to care for my kids for myself. My husband seems to have no ability to empathize or be supportive, and instead buries his head in the sand and tries to keep busy or be useful. My daughter is my biggest nightmare, I realized. I hate that I'm saying that, and I feel like a monster, but it's how I feel. She's selfish and cruel. She cheats on boyfriends, lies about everything possible, is failing school, steals, falsely accuses people of assaulting her regularly, and betrays every friend she's ever had. She's very pretty and feels that makes her better than the people around her. She's aware that managing my stress is crucial to my health at the moment, but she openly does not care. She'll create drama intentionally prior to my procedures with zero remorse or empathy, and then watch me struggle and suffer without a care in the world. She reminds me of my abusive mother, whose selfish, narcissistic behavior escalated with each year. I can't help but feel like a complete failure for raising her to be this way. This was my biggest fear. I don't know where I went wrong. I believe that she's punishing me because I'm the only person in her life that cares more about her character than appearance. I will die on that hill. I made a huge mistake several years ago when my daughter first started acting up, and I pulled away from my personal life in an attempt to dedicate more to my family in hopes of turning her behavior around. I took a much lower paying job that offered more flexibility and let a lot of friendships drift away. I gave everything to try to fix this. Therapy, followed all professional instructions. I did everything I was supposed to do to help her, and nothing worked. Now I've sacrificed my financial independence and outside support system for nothing. Several months ago, I let my husband know that I was burning out and I really needed help. I begged him to step up and deal with our daughter, especially because the stress was killing me. He promised to take over and give me respite to take care of myself. He didn't follow through though. My daughter's behavior escalated while being unmonitored. She made false R-word allegations, catfished people online, and lied about a bunch of things for attention. We're now being investigated by social services. During this investigation, she continued her behavior completely unfazed and uncaring. My husband keeps falling for her act and thinking that she's changed, but she hasn't. I honestly don't think she will because, quite frankly, she doesn't want to. She's in her glory and loves every second. She absolutely does not care how her actions affect anyone else. I don't know what else I could possibly do. I'm so tired. I've been drowning and begging for help for a long time. I don't even want them to help me, really. I honestly just want them to stop adding things to my plate and holding me underwater. I want them to stop draining all my resources so there will be something left for me. I'm supposed to have another major surgery in a week. I don't know how I'm supposed to manage recovery with not only no help, but also having my daughter doing everything she can muster to sabotage my health and recovery. It hurts so much that she cares so little for me. If they're all I have, and they don't care if I live or die, why am I still fighting? I can't help but feel that the only thing I have left to offer is my death. Maybe she'll care then. Maybe it'll be the wake-up call that she needs. Maybe me being gone will prevent my youngest child, who's 10, from going down the same path. At the very least, my last thoughts can be that hope. I'm just so tired. OP, it sounds like your daughter might be a narcissist, in which case, you killing yourself won't make a bit of difference. She'll blame you, if she even cares about you at all, and then just move on and start thinking about herself again. And as for your husband, he seems to be treating you more like a free maid service than like an actual wife. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Knock. My husband and I are Muslim, and so are our families. This adds a bit of drama to it all because our families are quite conservative about intimacy. My husband and I have been really busy with work, and I was missing him, so I thought I'd spice things up a bit. It's not unusual for us. We like to do a bit of role play and some dressing up. I ordered a maid outfit online and got all dressed up waiting for him to get home. I'm a teacher, so I tend to finish work earlier than him. He got home and I surprised him in the outfit. It got a bit hot and heavy after that. We were in the kitchen, which our neighbors can see into. And my in-laws are our neighbors. But we forgot that little detail as we were focused on other things. My mother-in-law barged into our house. She has a key. We hear her yelling and we're so confused. Why is she in our house? And why does she sound mad? I'm frantically looking for something to cover up with. She comes into the kitchen, sees me, and goes bright red. She apologizes a bunch and says something like, "I thought my son was with another woman. I was ready to kill him." Me and my husband were so embarrassed, and my poor mother-in-law was so apologetic. The next day, she went to her house for dinner and she said that she was expecting a grandchild soon. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. We laugh about it now, but at the time, me and my husband were scared to even touch each other near any windows. Well, OP, I think on the bright side, you can at least have comfort in the fact that your mother-in-law has your back. She apparently really likes you. She doesn't want her son sleeping with some slutty maid hussy. So it's kind of sweet in a way, I guess. Also, I guess it's time to invest in some blinds, OP. Not blindfolds, you degenerate. Blinds. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. I dated Cindy for almost 3 years. We had ups and downs like any couple, but I thought things were good. Her family adored me. Her parents, Jim and Michelle, told me how they thought that I was really good for Cindy. 6 months ago, I caught her smuggling her guy into my apartment when she thought that I would be at work. We had separate places, and she had a spare key to my place for emergencies. I'd been using paid time off that was about to expire, and I hadn't told her. Imagine my effing surprise when she and her guy barge in before they see me on the couch. She gasped, and he looked like he just got caught with his hand in a cookie jar. His hand was in something, I'll betcha. I made her give me my key and kicked them out and blocked her. I think they were exercising some weird cheating kink by going to my apartment. They probably did it before. I went to a bar today after work to eat my weight in French fries and down a couple of beers. It's located 2 blocks from my apartment complex, so I wouldn't need to drive if I wanted to get drunk. I'm sitting at the bar and I have someone tap my shoulder. I look over and it's Jim and Michelle, my ex-girlfriend's parents. It took me a moment to recognize them. I asked what they were doing here. They told me someone at some point recommended this bar. It was probably me months ago, and they wanted to check it out. They invited me to their table and I figured, why the hell not? We talked about work and they asked how my mom was doing. I think we all knew the conversation was going to turn to Cindy, and her mom spilled the beans. She is now in a relationship with a guy that she was cheating on me with. Jim and Michelle absolutely despise him. He's very rude and crass and makes for a poor dinner guest. He's overly affectionate and possessive of Cindy. At Christmas, he drunkenly hit on Cindy's aunt, who's Jim's sister, and made things uncomfortable. Cindy forbade her folks and their extended family from asking about me or asking why the hell she left me for a fratty shithead. Cindy's folks feel immensely disappointed in her and told me that I was always such a help with family and family gatherings. They were even nice enough to cover my tab. I got home a few minutes ago and I feel better now than I have been. I suppose this is what winning a breakup feels like, which I acknowledge is petty, but what the hell. I knew someone who was cheated on, and they admitted to me that they do sometimes fantasize about the cheater, crying and coming crawling back just so that they could say, I don't want you anymore. Just to have that one moment of revenge, of having the cheater realize the errors of their ways. But I think this should be the new fantasy. This is even better than the crying, regretful ex. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please take me back. The parents saying, yo, you're so much better than the other guy. So, OP, you are the perfect example of the phrase, the best revenge is a life well lived. Our next Reddit post is from Pop Purple Puff. In 2023, a mom on my local moms group posted a plea for toys for her daughter's Christmas. She said that she and her husband couldn't afford to buy anything, and I felt bad because many people were commenting with rude and degrading responses. I didn't know this girl, but it turned out that we had mutual acquaintances and we also happened to work in the same hospital. People said that she's a genuinely kind person and a hard worker. I bought some toys and clothes for her, and she cried when she picked it up, thanking me for helping her out. This past Christmas, I heard that she had to quit work to care for her mother, and she welcomed a second baby. She made a post again on the moms group and asked for small things for her kids. I offered to do it again, and I bought things for both daughters. The mom told me that these were the only presents her kids would receive this Christmas, as she and her husband were struggling. They even had to sell one of their cars, she claimed. Yesterday, she sent me a message to thank me for the gifts. I don't know what prompted me to click on her profile, but there was a recently posted video that she had shared from her TikTok. Turns out, this mom is trying to become an influencer. She boasts about having an elaborate gaming desktop. She spends money on designer bags. She goes on shopping sprees for products to endorse and boost her followers on social media. And she shares shopping hauls on expensive products for herself and her husband. I feel so stupid. I know you can't always believe what people say, especially when they claim to be in a rough situation. But man, some people just play you and take advantage of anyone's kindness. I know not all people do this, but it's kind of ruined any sort of desire I have left to help families, especially during the holidays. And I also feel bad for thinking this way. OP, I think the main takeaway from this is even if you are stepping away from being charitable, don't step away from being kind, because being kind is free. That was rSlash Off My Chest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.